Yo, fam, what is up? You are back for another video with Datazero. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. This video is not financial advice, should not be taken as such. Please do your own research and due diligence for buying any stock or crypto asset. This is my research and due diligence, and I'm sharing with you guys. Let's go ahead and hop into the charts, facts, and data, showing you guys what's going on with the charts and today and the rest of the week. So, ladies and gentlemen, listen. Is it the end of the meme stocks? Is it all over? I'm about to break it down in this video right now. So AMC did see massive success with the Taylor Swift event. Adam Aaron was kind enough to drop the numbers and give us some numbers. Now, ladies and gentlemen, some people are saying Adam Aaron's a plant. I do believe Adam Aaron is not on our side. I think that he is playing both sides. He's the kind of guy who will smile in your face, steal your stuff, and then help you look for it. Ladies and gentlemen, AMC doing numbers with this. This will do good on earnings, which fundamentally destroys the short thesis. So again, I know it's psychologically devastating to see this good news come out but price go down, but that's exactly the feeling they want you to feel. That's exactly the emotions they want you to feel. I do not believe it is over. I believe that the fundamentals are changing, and the reasons that the shorts were short these stocks are now irrelevant, especially GameStop. Now AMC is also coming up as well. It's erasing some of its debt. As interest rates are getting lowered, which means lower interest payments. Also, we're doing things like the Taylor Swift event, and the box office is seeing a resurgence as well. All very, very bullish things for AMC. GME is holding the Bitcoin. Bitcoin's on an absolute tear, pumping to new highs. Bitcoin is going to continue to go up. Also, GME, a fundamentally profitable company, as it last earnings was an absolute masterclass on how to smack earnings, getting a double beat. GME leading the way for the meme stocks, showing them as done. Now, we recently had the warrants come out for GME as well. Some people got theirs today. I heard some people on the live stream say Robinhood got some of theirs. But don't worry if you didn't get yours today. They will be handed out throughout this week. Most people are saying they look like options, and they're trading under the ticker GMEWS. And they will be tradable on the New York Stock Exchange. And we do have some of that information for you guys in the Discord as well. Now, ladies and gentlemen, GME, I believe, is in the bottoming process, but that doesn't mean it couldn't see a new low before popping to the upside. As you guys can see, I have this prediction here where we kind of come up and then come back down, making a new low, but then we get a correction to the upside. Why do I have this prediction? Well, as you guys can see, we have something called bullish divergence starting to form. You guys can see the RSI is trending up while the price is trending down. That bullish divergence is telling me that GME's price is going to flatten out and correct to the upside. Also, RSI is starting to get very, very low on these bigger time frames, like the hourly time frame, the 2-hour time frame, and the 4-hour time frame. Normally, this is a very, very bullish indication for a relative bottom. Also, here on the 4-hour time frame, we have this hammer candle as well. All of these are indications that GME is going to bottom. Now, I told you guys on the way up, GME was creating several gap fills, and those gaps were going to need to get filled, and that we actually don't want to fill all of the upside gaps and leave gaps to the downside. Well, guess what? GME is filling all of those gaps. We have one more gap fill left, which I believe could potentially be filled tomorrow when we hit that new low, potentially a new low of 2387 to 2364. If we do hit that, the gap will be filled, and then I believe GameStop will start moving back to the upside to fill all of the gaps that it still has left to the upside. On the way down, it made a gap around $27. We still have a gap fill in the daily time frame. If you guys go ahead and pop out to the daily time frame, you guys can see that we still have a gap way up here at about 2808 to 2838, and that gap will get filled. And then we have a gap fill here on the daily time frame all the way at 2942 to 2965. That gap will get filled. Now, again, this gap to the downside on the daily time frame is in play. I believe that's what GameStop is actually doing, coming down to fill this gap. Once we fill that gap, we're going to get a movement to the upside, and that's what I believe we're going to be seeing. So I believe we're going to possibly come down, come in, drop, and fill that gap, gap and then get a pop to the upside as that bullish divergence plays out, as the RSI and buyers start to step in, and you guys start to see a bottom here for GME. GME has had an overall uptrend. I believe that it's going to make a higher low and then continue up, in my personal opinion. Here on the weekly time frame, you guys can see we have green MACD and the bands are getting really tight. I think GME is actually setting up for an explosive move, so I think it is far from over, in my personal opinion. But again, this game is a long game, especially with the introduction of these warrants. Ladies and gentlemen, this is literally a long game. Now you guys can see that I believe that the blast off zone is around $32 to $33, up to about $35, $35.50. If we can get above there, people could start exercising warrants. Also, $30 is a major level of support and resistance. You guys can see each and every time that GameStop was able to successfully hold $30 as support, it absolutely started pumping to the upside once it held $30 as support. So if we do break above around $32 to $35, I believe GME will continue up, and I believe what we're actually about to see is GME go into a macro uptrend, ladies and gentlemen. I believe that GME is actually bottoming here on the macro cycle and is going to start moving up in an upwards direction in a macro bull run. Believe it or not, we have this overall falling wedge. We have this accumulation pattern after pushing up, and I believe similar to, not that GME is Bitcoin, but similar to Bitcoin, you have this falling wedge, you consolidate, and then you push up into a macro bull run. I believe GME is actually about to do something similar, in my personal opinion, especially if earnings continues to be good for GME. You guys can see GME recently posted this meme as well, which is a meme that Roaring Kitty had posted. Let me know in the comments below, do you guys think Roaring Kitty is coming back anytime soon? And what do you guys think this meme means? I think this is just about promotion, and if they were able to get some hype, that would help as well. Again, AMC dropped those recent numbers. Also, they dumped a ton of short shares on AMC. That's why it's down here in after hours. You guys can see here about 55 minutes ago at time of recording here, about an hour ago at time of recording, they dumped shares here on AMC. Right now, at time of recording, 750,000 shares left for AMC, and then 2 million left for GME at a cost to borrow of 0.42%, and AMC has a cost to borrow of 0.53%. Both cost to borrows moving up, but we want to see those cost to borrows at least at 1% or higher. If you see cost to borrow spike or go up, that's a sign of bullishness for the meme stocks. So I do believe that AMC and GME are going to recover. I don't think it's over. I think AMC is going to have to see a little bit more downside here as well, potentially coming down to a low of about 280, 275 before recovering to the upside, and GME is going to have to come down a little bit lower before recovering to the upside, down to about 2387 or 2364, and then we should be able to continue up from there. I believe that both of the meme stocks are going to be making a higher low, because as you guys can see, AMC has also been in an overall uptrend, and if it were to bottom around 275 or 280, that would indeed be a higher low, and that would mean an overall uptrend. Again, when in doubt, zoom out. This is what I'm looking at for the meme stocks at this current time. Let's go ahead and show you guys what's going on with SPY and what potentially could be happening here. Now guys, remember I've been saying in the last couple of videos, SPY could be topping out. We got this red MACD 4-hour time frame. Bollinger Bands are tight. A move is definitely coming, and it looks like it could be a potential move to the downside. Also, NASDAQ making familiar patterns. I told you guys we've seen this before. We have the overall falling wedge. We break out of it, we trend up, and then we drop down. We have a falling wedge here. We broke down out of it, we trended up, and now we're potentially going to see a drop down. Also, this is SQQQ, an index that moves inverse of NASDAQ. When NASDAQ goes up, this goes down. When NASDAQ goes down, this goes up. This is showing a bullish falling wedge with gap fills to the upside, and it looks like my pattern is tracking. The market could see a local top, and SPY could actually start to trend down on the mid to long term before coming up. I know people think that SPY is just going to go up forever, but that is simply not the case. I think we're about to see a decent correction here. The government shutdown is still in play, and even though we've seen SPY rallying so far, if the government shutdown continues, you could definitely start to see that affect SPY, especially as this thing prolongs. SPY also is showing technicals that we could see some more downside as well, and we're seeing RSI get to those very overbought territories on these bigger time frames. Normally when you see this, you see a decent correction to the downside. You guys can see RSI got overbought here on the monthly time frame. Here we had this correction. RSI got overbought on the monthly time frame. Here we had this correction. I think we're about to see a decent correction here for the overall market. That doesn't mean you can't continue up higher later, but I think we're about to see a decent leg down and then possibly a continuation to the upside, or the chickens could come home to roost and the bubble could pop. I'll let you guys know which one's happening as it occurs, but if that were to occur, ladies and gentlemen, the market's only held up by a few key stocks. If the stilts were kicked out from underneath it, there's a long way down. So make sure you guys are on your P's and Q's. Me personally, I am hedged. I'm not telling you guys what to do. I think SPY is going to see a little bit of recovery tomorrow, but I think that we could see a lower high where you see SPY come up, make a lower high, and then actually make another leg down. So you want to be watching SPY very, very carefully. In order for SPY to get fully bullish and go crazy, it'd have to break above 671.38 and hold that level as support. In order for SPY to dump, it would have to lose 668.45. If it lost that and tested that as resistance, it would absolutely dump. Again, I believe that SPY is going to be pushing up, in my personal opinion, making a potential lower high and then coming down, potentially even having a red day tomorrow. So this is what I'm looking at for SPY. Let's go ahead and move into crypto and the overall crypto market. I'll show you guys what's going on there, and then we'll wrap up this video. So Bitcoin did exactly as I predicted and went to a brand new all-time high. Now, RSI got extremely overbought on the daily time frame. I'm expecting some pullback here for BTC and then a continuation to the upside. I believe that we're potentially about to see something special here for the crypto market and a new leg up for BTC, potentially going as high as 130,000, ladies and gentlemen. I have never missed a price target for BTC, so make sure you guys like and subscribe, especially if you are into crypto. As you guys can see, I called for 80 and 100K way back in 2022 and 2023 when I called the bottom at 15K for BTC, when people were saying it's going to go to 10K and 3K even. You guys can see I had those targets here, and those are targets that I long talked about, and my OG subscribers will be able to verify that. Now, we did hit my $125 price, or $125,000 price target. I believe that we are potentially about to make a new leg up, but that would require us to break back above 125,000 and hold that level. If you do see that, Bitcoin most likely is going to make a massive move towards 130 or even 140, ladies and gentlemen. Bitcoin is still giving us room to run. You guys can see we are moving into the greed, so you do want to be careful, but you guys can see RSI here on the bigger time frames isn't that crazy. Right now on the monthly time frame, it is overbought at 71, but you guys can see in the past on the bull runs, we have run hot before. Also, you guys can see here on the weekly time frame, we are not even overbought yet. We're at 62, so we have room to run until we get into the overbought territory. Weekly MACD red. Once it flips green, we could get bullish momentum. And Bitcoin likes to accumulate, push up. Accumulate, push up. Right now, we have accumulated around 109,000, 108,000 to about 120,000 in that range. So we're potentially about to make a next leg up and go into the next range, would be about 130 to 140K, ladies and gentlemen, believe it or not. So I think that there's still room for the Bitcoin bull run to continue. I believe that it is going to continue, in my personal opinion. Again, you just want to be careful because here on the weekly time frame, we do have a little bit of bearish divergence forming, which means price is going to drift up, flatten out, and correct down. So we are going to see a correction at some time. You guys can see RSI kind of trending down here, and then price trending up. Now, RSI would have to make a lower low here in order to confirm that, but there is a potentiality for bearish divergence forming here on the weekly time frame. Again, I watch the charts very carefully, and I'm not biased to one way or another. You guys can see right now Ethereum also breaking out of a potential falling wedge and a macro accumulation pattern. You have this huge macro accumulation. It looks like Ethereum is going to be going to 5K or higher. In order for that to happen, you would need BTC to move up to about 130. Or stay at above 125. So this is also why I think Bitcoin needs to push up. Again, Bitcoin dominance is still very, very high and controlling the market. But what I think we're going to see first is a pull back. So I think all of the coins are going to pull back, and then we're going to see a push to the upside after we get this overall pullback for the crypto market. I think that we're going to come down here. ETH is probably going to come down to like 4.43, 4.5 around that range. BTC probably coming down to about, let's see here, what we're looking at, 115K, and then using these levels as support and then pushing up from there. I think Cardano ADA is also going to be moving up, XRP as well. These are coins that I always keep an eye on, XRP, Cardano ADA, so if you guys are interested in them, make sure you guys like and subscribe as well. XRP, you definitely want to see get back above $3. We slipped below that today, kind of rejecting from that level, a little bit disturbing. You definitely want to see it back above that level, but as long as XRP doesn't go below like $2.48, I definitely think we're going to see a push towards new all-time highs here soon. We have a bunch of bullish catalysts coming here for the potential crypto market, especially altcoins, as this month might be October for meme coins and altcoins, because some altcoins are potentially going to get a ETF. Some coins like Solana, XRP, Litecoin, Dogecoin. Now, XRP already has a spot ETF. If you didn't know, we do track it here on the channel. It's called XRPR, but you want to see a big one like BlackRock or something like that. This is a hybrid ETF. It's a spot ETF. So it does hold the underlying asset, but it does have a mix of assets as well. You want to see mostly spot ETFs, like how Bitcoin has the BlackRock ETF and Ethereum has big names as well. But this is pretty much what I'm looking at for the crypto market. Again, we are moving into greed, but not extreme greed, so you want to be careful. Again, do the opposite of the herd. Be fearful when others are greedy. Be greedy when others are fearful. So this is another indication that we might not be at the top yet, but we could be getting near the top. Again, things like gold and crypto, things that are finite, have fixed caps, max supplies, are going to be moving up. That's why gold keeps moving up, because the dollar is degrading. Make sure you guys learn about that if you don't know about that, especially if the interest rate's getting lowered. That's going to mean more capital coming into the market and the dollar getting degraded even more. So assets like Bitcoin, crypto, gold, silver are going to be moving up. This is your daily outlook and prediction for stocks and crypto. If you found this video informative, go ahead and drop a like, press subscribe for more content like this, and I appreciate you if you watch to the end, because some people watch to the end and that helps me out immensely with the algorithm. If you guys want to help for free, just hit that like button, subscribe. But if you want to check out the channel and drop a super chat or check out the merch store, that's a great way to help and support the channel. We also have a Discord as well, exclusive predictions, technicals, information, and news. Hit me up on my email, DataZeroOfficial5, linked in the comment section and description. Payment made by PayPal or Cash App, $100 for a lifetime invite. Once you make payment, I send you the link. Make sure before you send payment, you hit my email out. As always, y'all, I appreciate each and every one of you. Make sure you have fun, stay safe, make money. Peace out, gang.